Hey, what's up, Uncle Jesse here, Chef Jesse. Well, I want to first of all thank everyone who has sent me. I had terrible heartburn. I was up all night. I'm telling you, all night. I was up till 4 in the morning watching TV. Then I tried to go back. I tried to go to sleep at 4, and I just couldn't go to sleep. I put about 3 pillows to try to keep my head elevated, and nothing. I took Malanta. I took Tums. I took this other thing, this other antacid. I drank some ginger tea that they told me it would help. I just could. I don't know what it was. I only ate chicken. It wasn't spicy, and I just ate a couple of French fries. And I didn't like the French fries, but I don't know what it was. And I usually snack at night. I didn't snack at night yesterday because I couldn't. Anyway, so I don't know what it was. I mean, hopefully one of those things that passed. So finally, I fell asleep about 7 or 8 o'clock this morning. So it's been a bad day. So anyway, folks. And today, I don't know, I'm in the mood for onion soup. So, I don't know, good or bad, I'm going to eat onion soup. And I made some crab cakes, which I'm not going to fry, of course. But I have some crab cakes and some onion soup. And I don't know, I don't have much of an appetite today. So anyway, folks, once again, thank you for you guys for your concern. Everyone wrote to me and they told me to take this, take that, take this. I even had a voodoo doctor tell me to take some. I mean, crazy. Everybody got back to me. But anyway, folks, today... I'm making, like I said, onion soup, and I'm making some crab cakes, homemade crab cakes that I have in the fridge so they can get a little bit hardened. I used a different recipe today, and hopefully I tasted one little piece and it tastes good. And then I have some salmon with lemon pepper in it. I don't know if you can see it there. This is for Gilbert, and he likes this big chunk of salmon, and this is for him. I don't know if you can see it there. And this is going into the oven pretty soon. He's on his way from work. Should be here in about another 15 or 20 minutes, and then we should get the dinner going. So anyway, folks, bear with me a few minutes because I'm going to go prepare to cut up some onions to make my onion soup. Okay, stay tuned. So folks, to make onion soup, of course, you need an onion. So I'm going to start off with this Vidalia onion. I'm going to cut off the end there. Oh, this doesn't look too good, this onion. Oh my God. It's a good thing I have another one. Oh well. Let me. There's a little piece going in the bottom. Is a little bit ruined, but we'll work with it. I have another one in the fridge, and let me just take this off here. And to make onion soup, folks, you need to have enough onions, because what happens? Onions, it looks like a lot, but when you put it in the pan and you start to saute it and break it down, it turns out. So I'm going to take this piece off that looks like it's not too good, and then the middle is not too good. This whole onion looks busted, but let me see if I can salvage it before I take the. Okay, I salvaged it. I took out the cancer. Okay, and let me get the side piece here. The supermarket that I go to is really, really low budget, and I hate going to it because I hate going to the supermarket, but I have no choice. I mean, the other supermarket that's good, it's called it's a key food, but it's a fancy key food. I forgot what it's called. It's called Market 55. Market 55 by Key Food. So it's not your usual key food. It's a Market 55, whatever the hell that means. Make it sound fancy. But anyway, they have much better quality of food. Sometimes I go to Whole Foods, but these places are like, for me to get to Whole Foods, I have to get across town, and I have to go to I have to take a bus. And it's just not. It's okay, but it's just, I gotta watch my walking. I'm going for surgery next week. Well, the week after. Is it next week? Let me see. Yeah. Well, yeah, next week. Next week, is it? Today's the 14th. Yeah, next week I'm going to not this Friday. Next Friday I'm going to surgery, and the doctor is saying that I probably won't be able to walk for about maybe 3 months, which, let me tell you something, that's not going to happen. I'm going to fucking walk. Excuse my French. I cannot be confined to a I don't know, wheelchair or bed for 3 months. It's not gonna happen. It can't happen. So anyway, folks, I've broken down I've cut out my onion, the bad pieces of the onion. Okay, which I salvaged most of it. Got the corners off using my Psycho knife, and I put the onions in a big pan, in a saucepan here, and I'm going to start breaking it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to break down the onion. Let me see if I can. Okay. Okay, folks. So I'm cutting up my onion. Like I said, it looks like a lot of onions, but when you start to break them down, you got a whole pot of onions, and then when you start breaking them down, they're not the way it started out. So I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna cut this up. There we go. Tell you this knife is amazing. You gotta watch your fingers. I cut my fingers already. There you go. There you go. Okay, I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna break these onions down. I have a whole pot of onions there. I'm going to put some butter in there, some olive oil. Put some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, to help break down the onions. I'm going to put some butter in there. And then we are going to start sauteing our onions, breaking them down. And then I'm going to cook my my beef broth, so stay by. So folks, this takes a little bit of time. You have to cook you got to cook the onion there, and you got to keep stirring it, making sure that you don't want to fry the onion. You want to break them down, and you want to brown them. And after that's done, you add the beef broth, which I'm going to be making in a little while. And I'll show you how I make the beef broth, and then I add it to the onions, and then this is French onion soup. So we put it into these little bowls that I have with the bread on top, and I use Swiss cheese and mozzarella on top, and then I put it in the oven, and you're gonna see how that comes out. So folks, I am breaking down my onions. I put a little bit of sugar, just a little bit, because I want to caramelize my onions. And let me show you. Okay, there you go. So they're breaking down now. I have my beef broth here. Okay. And you can buy beef broth in the store. You can make it yourself if you have time, or you can use those beef broth envelopes. I use the low sodium one because they are kind of salty, so I use the low sodium one. I forgot the name of it, but they're in the store. Beef broth, low sodium. So that's what I'm using. I'm using low sodium, and I've just added it to my water, 3 cups of water, and I added one envelope because I'm going to add something else to it that's going to give it the full flavor. So folks, I'm making some sauteed mushrooms with garlic. So I'm using fresh garlic, as you see. I'm using about 5 cloves of garlic, and I'm slowly cutting them slicey small. I'm going to try to get them as small as possible. I don't want to crush them. I don't want to mash them. I want the flavor. I want the whole flavor. And as I saute it, then it'll break down. So that's why I'm not using anything to mash them down or anything like that harsh. I'm just making them into dicing them as small as possible. And then I'm going to put it in a pan with, of course, what else? Olive oil. And then I'm going to brown it, and I'm going to add my mushrooms, and then I'm going to add some soy sauce to give it taste and to give it a little bit of brown coloring. I'm using low sodium soy sauce. Okay, I mean, folks, we're not really on a fanatic diet. We're just trying to cut down on fried stuff, and slowly. You do it slowly. You can't shock the body. The body's gonna say, "Where's my junk food? Where's my junk food?" Can't do that. So you have to slowly, start getting away from stuff, and trying new stuff, and this way, your palates won't be shocked, and you won't be shocked by trying out new things, new vegetables and stuff that doesn't look too appetizing, but sometimes it is, and it depends how you. I mean, I put garlic on everything, and it's good. So anyway, here I am, my finely chopped garlic, and then I got my mushrooms here, and I don't like mushrooms. I don't do the mushroom thing, but Gilbert does. I know mushrooms are good. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So folks, I am going to, like I said, saute those mushrooms in a garlic sauce, with olive oil, and like I said, a little bit of soy sauce. I'm using soy sauce to give it a little bit of brown color, because that's what the recipe called for. And I'm using, of course, low sodium salt, low sodium soy sauce. So my onions are starting to break down, and let me show you how they look. There he goes. So they are starting to break down. So remember that whole big pot of onions I have. This is what I have left. So, a matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it like that. I was gonna add some more onions, but I think that's it. Okay. So I'm gonna break that down for maybe another 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna add my beef broth in there, and I'm gonna let everything simmer for 15-20 minutes, and then my onion soup is made, and then I'm gonna start sauteing my mushrooms and garlic, and then I put my salmon in the oven for about 10 minutes with pepper and lemon pepper salmon, and little sprigs of asparagus on top. And then I am going to have my crab cakes in the fridge, getting nice and cool so they could join and won't fall apart. And I'll show you how those look. So folks, my onions are almost done. Now I am boiling the beef broth, and then I'm going to broil it, and I'm going to throw it into the onions, and then I'm going to simmer. The onions are looking. There goes these onions. Look at this. Nice color. There you go. I'm in the kitchen, Terry. Anyway, folks, the onions are almost done. They're finally breaking down. They're starting to turn nice and brown is what I'm looking at. I'm looking to brown them a little bit, not too much. Looking to caramelize them. And then I'm boiling my beef broth, and I'm gonna add my hot beef broth to the onions. And I put some garlic powder in there. I put some sea salt in there. And I put some sugar in there too to make them caramelized. I can't say that. But anyway, folks, they're starting to get nice and brown, and the beef broth is almost done. And stay tuned, folks. My French onion soup is looking delicious. I just added the beef broth. I put some garlic in there. You gotta have garlic. Little bit of pink salt, sea salt. And now I'm letting let me show you. I'm letting it simmer. Okay, there goes the onions all broken up, and I'm letting this simmer. And it's gonna simmer for about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I added a little drop of cornstarch to thicken it up a little bit, but not too much. I don't want this thick. Onion soup is not thick. You turn it into gravy if you thicken up too much. I just want it a little bit less watery. And so you gotta be careful when you add the cornstarch little by little until you get the right consistency that you want. You still want liquid. You want it to flow. But you want it a little bit thick, but not thick as a gravy, because then you'll be eating beef gravy. Who that wants beef gravy for dinner? So I think it's the right consistency. It's liquid. It's still liquidy. Let me show you. It's still, it's still liquidy, and it's gonna thicken up a little bit, but not that much. And then I'm gonna get my French. Well, actually, I couldn't find French bread, so I gotta use Italian bread. But hey, come on. Italian bread, the best. Anyway, so I'm going to use some Italian bread, and then I'm going to tape it up with you can top it up with there's different kind of cheeses. I used last time Gruyere. It was a very rich, but I couldn't get it today. So I'm using Swiss and I'm using mozzarella to top it off on top, and I'm going to show you how that comes out soon. Well, folks, I'm breaking down my garlic now. Now I'm going to put my garlic and I'm going to put my mushrooms into the garlic, and I'm going to saute my mushrooms in garlic, and then I'm going to add some low sodium soy sauce so that gives a little bit of a color. I want it to give a little bit of a color like caramelized. I can't say that word. Anyway, folks, I'm breaking down my garlic. This is fresh garlic, folks. Fresh garlic. I'm using today fresh garlic. I usually use garlic that I buy in the store chopped up, but today, okay. So you got to make sure that the garlic doesn't burn. That's the main thing. So when you start seeing the garlic browning, then you can add your mushrooms. Okay, like these are a big bowl of mushrooms here, and now I'm going to add it in here. I know you can't see it. I'll show you in a minute. And I'm going to saute my. Let me give you a second here. I got my low sodium soy sauce here, and yeah. Now I like that sound of that. I just love that sound of. It just looks like you're really cooking. If it doesn't make a, it's not. Okay, so let me bring you over to it now. And there goes the mushrooms, okay? So my mushrooms are cooking in there with garlic and the soy sauce. And I'm going to brown them. My fish is in the oven. And now I'm going to start cooking my crab cakes. And that's going to take a few minutes. I'm going to fry them. I'm going to just brown them side to side, using only olive oil. I'm not going to fry them. I'm not going to deep fry them. I'm just going to lay them on a bed of olive oil in a cast iron skillet that I have, which holds the heat pretty good. There you go. Look at that. This thing will outlast me. And then I'm going to put my crab cakes in there and start cooking my crab cakes. My salmon is in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes or so, and dinner will be served in about another 10-15 minutes, I would assume. So stay tuned.